Walkers are being warned to keep their animals on the lead after a dog had to be rescued from the cliffs in North Norfolk.
The incident happened at West Runton near Cromer. The warnings come from coastguards who were contacted by the owner. Malcolm Robertson reports.
Enjoying an Easter break dog walking along the North Norfolk coast are Neil Buckby and Jim Deacon from Leicester. With the footpath close to the cliff edge at West Runton, they're taking no chances. Their dogs are firmly on the lead. A sensible precaution when you see how dramatically erosion has eaten away the cliff and in some places has left the top of it no more than a matter of inches from where people walk. Yesterday, the coastguards had to deal with 2 incidents of dogs becoming stuck on the cliffs, one in Yorkshire and here at West Runton, where a puppy who was just a few months old became trapped on the sandy cliff face. It went over the edge and was stuck halfway down the 50-foot cliff. Its owner contacted the coastguards, who sent one of their volunteer cliff rescue teams to the scene, and using ropes they brought the Shar-Pei dog to the surface in a recovery harness. With plenty of people heading to the coast over the Easter holidays and a busy summer predicted, the coastguards are warning dog owners to be careful.
If you keep control of your dog by having it on a lead, especially when you're near cliff edges or the coast, then there is going to be no problem. The other issue you want to think about also is kids with dogs. If the dog is large and the child is small, again, you can have the same situation and, in fact, it could be more serious.
What Neil Buckby and Jim Deacon were doing today, the coastguards hope will provide a useful lead for others. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, at West Runton in Norfolk.
The family of Becky Thorpe, whose body was found in the freezer of the pub she helped run at Snettisham in Norfolk, have paid tribute to a cheeky and fun-loving daughter and sister. They said sport played a big part in the life of the 28-year-old who excelled at hockey and athletics. She also developed an interest in classic cars and had bought an MG. Her partner, 49-year-old Michael Tucker, who ran the Compasses Inn with her, has been charged with her murder.
It's thought the May the 6th election could be good news for the region's cider industry. The Tories claim Labour has been forced to scrap 3 controversial tax measures, including a 10% tax increase on cider. The rise in duty on cider came in on March the 29th, but will now be reversed on June the 30th, unless Labour wins the election. Asphalls at Debenham in Suffolk make 90% of the region's cider, 4 million litres a year.
Police in Norfolk are hoping to stop criminals cashing in on second-hand goods. Customers will now be asked to provide a thumbprint as well as completing the usual documentation. 6 second-hand shops are already taking part, and it's hoped the scheme will help trace unlawful traders more quickly.
It's something we've come up with between ourselves and Norfolk Police. I think a lot of the second-hand retailers in Norwich are going to start using the fingerprint, but we're obviously launching it, and so far it's gone really well.
Now to a volunteer from Colchester who's been putting smiles on patients' faces for nearly half a century.
Yes, Grace Thompson has been rewarded by the Duke of York for her work with the League of Friends. Our reporter Lorna Ramsey joined her on one of the rounds at Colchester General Hospital.
This was supposed to be a short-term thing, 2 weeks at most. But 46 years later, and at the age of 87, Grace Thompson is still going strong.
I'd give it a try, I thought, for a couple of weeks, and I'm still doing it. Only now it's round the whole hospital and not just maternity. So that's how it started, and it's gone on.
And those years have been recognised with an award from the League of Friends. She volunteers twice a week, once here at Colchester General and another day at Essex County Hospital. So what does she enjoy so much about volunteering?
A feeling of having done something. When you go around a ward, sometimes they just want to laugh, and that's fine.
It means an awful lot to the patients too, and they can't sing Grace's praises highly enough.
You know, when you're stuck in bed and you can't get out to get anything you need, and they pop round with always a smile, I think it's lovely.
Wonderful, absolutely. I mean, you need them.
Absolutely marvellous. Lovely lady.
So after 46 years, does she have any plans to give up?
Whilst I can do it, I shall do. I hope I shall know when I can't. But for as long as I can, for as long as I can give something, I will continue to do so.
And patients here hope that will be a long time yet, because the sight of Grace and her trolley always brings a smile to their face. Lorna Ramsey, Anglia News, Colchester.
Well done, Grace. You can bring your trolley around here any day of the week. Fantastic. Lovely.
Now, sadly, Colchester Zoo has announced that its only remaining lion has been put to sleep. The health of the male African lion, Cebu, has been a cause for concern for a while, and he was put down on the advice of vets after X-rays showed he was suffering from chronic arthritis in his spine. Cebu was born at Woburn Safari Park in 1989 and came to Colchester Zoo when he was just 8 months old. He was a prominent figure at the zoo, and his roars could often be heard throughout the park around his feeding times. Now, when you think of powerlifters, you might think of big, burly men and probably not a 5'2" Cambridgeshire woman.
Stand back. Now, you see, only a few years ago, Louise Fox was a successful businesswoman, but she packed all that in to take up powerlifting, and she's just broken 2 world records as well. Rhiannon Mills went to meet her.
Louise Fox means business when she's in the gym. From pushing paper in an office in Peterborough 3 years ago, she's become one of the best powerlifters in the world.
I had worked for BT for 17 years, and it just so happened that at the same time I met these guys that got me into the powerlifting. So then I thought, well, do you know, I'll take a career break. As a youngster, I'd always been able to do sort of press-ups and pull-ups and things that probably not all women can do. So I kind of knew I was fairly strong, but I never thought that I would be as good at something as I actually have been. So it has been a bit of a surprise.
And it's really worked out for her. Titles, medals, awards, and now 2 world records at the British Championships. The first was for heaviest deadlift. That was 26 stones. Add to that a squat and bench press, and Louise smashed another record for total weightlift with an incredible 53 stones. That's nearly 7 times her own weight, about the same as 2 baby elephants. And how do the men react to you when you're in the gym lifting these huge weights?
I think when I'm training, the guys probably will just look at you and think you're working out and you're having quite a good workout. I think the most respect you get is at a powerlifting competition when the guys realise that you're lifting 3 times your body weight, and there's not that many guys that can do that themselves. So that's when you get the most sort of cred, really.
So how tall exactly are you?
I'm 5'2½".
OK, so that means that Louise is actually, well, she's shorter than me and she doesn't weigh as much as me either. But when she can do things like this... Oh, gosh. I don't think I'll be heading to the gym with her anytime soon. All right, you can put me down now. Believe it or not, she's got an even bigger challenge than that coming up in November, the World Championships. But with records and titles already under her belt, that should be a pushover. Rhiannon Mills, Anglia News in Peterborough.
You wouldn't mess, would you?
That makes my weightlifting at the gym look pathetic.
Well, no, not at all. Mind you, I think if I tried to lift 7 times my body weight, I'd go through the floor.
Now,